It's a romance they said could never happen. He was a simple billionaire who shot cars into outer space. It was a social media platform primarily used for distracted boyfriend memes and inciting insurrections.
Trump is president, Christ is king.
When a simple twist of fate and $61 billion in cash brought them together.
Elon Musk is buying Twitter.
Yes, after months of flirting, Twitter's board has accepted a cash offer from tech billionaire Musk, putting the Tesla and SpaceX founder in the platform's driver's seat.
Twitter has been crucial to the creation of the Elon Musk character that we all know. By buying it, he makes sure that no one can take that attention away from him.
Musk has long been obsessed with Twitter, using it to boost his preferred crypto stock,
Especially Dogecoin.
or predict that COVID would be over in the US by April 2020. And he sees this takeover as a chance to fix Twitter's problems.
Free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital square where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated.
Musk also has plans to wipe out spam bots and authenticate all users, and scale back content moderation.
When Elon's talking about Twitter, I get the feeling that he's really thinking about his own Twitter experience. But the reality is, running a company like Twitter is a very complicated thing. And when you come down to content moderation, it's about all these tiny little factors that happen every single day.
If, like most Aussies, you don't actually use Twitter, you may be wondering, what's the big deal with this big deal? Twitter's influence on politics and the stock market is huge. And there's a chance Musk's free speech crusade could re-engage the famously banned Donald Trump ahead of a rumoured second tilt at the White House. So what could it mean for the spread of disinformation when a man like Musk controls one of the world's largest platforms?
Did you think I was also going to be a chill, normal dude?
Tegan Jones is an award-winning tech journo who's here to explain what's really up. Tegan, so is this really a big deal, or do we all need to log off, go outside for a bit and touch some grass, as the young folk are wont to say?
Well, you know, logging off Twitter is pretty good advice for any day of the week, really. But in this case, it is a bit of a big deal when you have one of the richest men in the world who has used Twitter to, you know, up the price of Tesla and manipulate the price of various cryptocurrencies, turn around and then buy that platform. It's very supervillain areas.
Well, it kind of is. When people are like, oh, Elon Musk has bought Twitter because he got his feelings hurt. But he's also a billionaire, so presumably there's a massive business element to it. So is his motivation personal or business?
Well, he said multiple times that it's not about the money, and that kind of checks out. Twitter hasn't actually drawn a profit for about 10 years, but he said that it's more about improving the platform as well as bringing more free speech to it. But other people have different ideas. A lot of people are saying that it's a midlife crisis or a flex or a vanity project. And considering how much that Elon does just for the meme a lot of the time and to troll people, maybe he's just doing it because he can.
Do you think that this is better or worse for the user experience, and indeed which users?
I mean, it's a great question. I think that if he brings in that edit button that people have wanted for a long time, that would be a good thing for the users, and he has floated that idea. But considering how light we are on details on the free speech thing, what does that mean? Does it mean that it will become even more of a hotbed for extremist content and bullying and harassment and perhaps untrue information, misinformation spread on the platform? We don't know. Will Donald Trump be invited back? We don't exactly know what will happen here, but Musk has been pretty clear in the past that he thinks that Twitter should shy away from permanent bans and maybe have timeouts instead. So I don't know.
Tegan, do you think his first point of business might be to delete the account of that kid who tracked his plane?
Well, he has said he wants there to be free speech, so it would be quite the backflip. But yeah, I kind of think he might.
Should offer that kid a job.
He should, absolutely. Or maybe Tegan, have we been to? Did we give up on MySpace too early? Should we all go back to Tom and just beg for forgiveness?
I was going to say, do we have Tom's number? Can we find out what he's up to and get him in on this?
No, we looked it up. He's off being a photographer. He's just said he's got his money. He made his millions or whatever, or tens of dollars.
Retired
and he's
40.
just decided he's going to retire. He's become a photographer.
Oh, bless, that's so wholesome. You know, maybe we should go back to a more wholesome time where we would sort of put what tragic songs we were listening to on our MSN Messenger so our crushes could see them. Simpler time.
Tegan, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
The edit function is very interesting to me.
He's going to give you that.
Well, it's not concrete, right? Because we're still unsure with what actually, Elon Musk is going to do
Why
to change the
are people
platform.
losing their minds about it? Like, you've got Zuckerberg. What, you're happy with him running that public square? Why?
But isn't it that people aren't happy with that?
Well,
So
they
they don't want to-
still use it, don't they?
Yeah.
Now they're like, I'm leaving Twitter.
Which that's an empty... No one's going to leave Twitter because everyone who's on Twitter right now...
And also, it's going to
would
get
say they
good.
hate
If they
Twitter.
bring
They're
Donald
on it.
Trump back, then something's happening. You know what I mean? That's ignition, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, who have people had to hate the last few years?
It has been a while since we've had a pro-Trump voice on the show.
Good.
Am I playing the role of Steve Price?